Welcome to One More Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. And let's discover another one made of jiàn on the right side, which is double X, double daggered X. And this time we'll pair something related to food. If you spend enough time with Chinese, for sure this one came across, because for Chinese as a culture, eating is very important. So we see a lot of this. This is 食 on the left side versus 煎 on the right side. But together, it sounds 煎. So, linguists back then would automatically conclude, okay, this is a sound maker. This farewell dinner, translation, 煎, sound like 煎, right? The right side. Therefore, the right side bring in the sound. And because it's dinner, that's the meaning. However, I would argue because 煎 means shallow, chopped up. And there's a whole historical background of why this shallow, chopped up, small pieces, chopped up, paired with eating, dining, means farewell dining. The whole thing is explainable. The right side not only brings in the sound of it, it brings in the exact meaning of it. Otherwise, what kind of dining it is, we don't know. So the reason why is because it's an ancient practice. Before the invention of so many modern convenience of our days, before they have refrigerator, food had to be stored in a certain way. Things like meat would go bad so quickly, right? So ancient times is to dry it. Today, we have beef jerky. That was a necessity, probably the majority of the meat form back then. If you want to store meat and farewell, because that means the meat, like beef jerky, got chopped up, packed together, and put into the backpack, ancient version, with a traveler. That's why it's a farewell. It's chopped up dry meat. And ancient times traveling too, like spend a long time on the road, right? It's majority of population, I guess, ancient times cannot afford things like a chariot or a horse. They had to travel by foot. So it's important for them to be nutritionally well supplied. So this became ancient practice that you see your friend off, you don't just wave goodbye or like invite them to dinner like in today's concept. No. Ancient practice would be this traveler before they head out of the gate of this, normally a fortress of the town, right? Before hitting the high road, the friend would chop out the dry meat and get it ready for the traveler to take on the road, so that they can feed on something without food going bad. So dry beef, dry meat was the ancient version of how to survive long distance, long food preservation. And a little bit unpacking of 食, this dining. We have the top almost looking like a triangle shape. That means gathering, means a pile of. So it's literally a pile of, right? And then the middle here, a circle with a horizontal line with a tiny bit of vertical line on top. Okay, this to me looks like a grain of rice and a kind of a callback of the sun symbol. If you know Chinese a little bit, sun symbol is a circle with a horizontal line. And that was captured through, was it a photogenesis? To capture the sun energy, convert it to food energy. And here is the Chinese realizing what's in that tiny grain of rice actually is the energy of the sun. I guess ancient people could figure out, that was expressed and captured in this Chinese character. Grain of rice. And at the bottom, you can regard it as food stand because you don't eat it from the ground. You have to sit your pile of rice somewhere, or you can visualize it as like a scoop, like you scoop this bowl of rice. But this talks about food, talks about gathering around the food, about digging in to the food. All right. We have 践行, because this is a farewell dinner. So it was very particular context. It's a particular kind of dinner. And this character end up pairing with farewell itself. So 践行 means somebody is going to travel. 行 means travel. And actually it's 6 footsteps, left and right food, and symmetrically repeated 3 times means you travel long distance. And here it's kind of transformed, so you don't see the symmetry in there. But that means somebody is going to travel on foot for long, and somebody feed them food as a farewell. And 鉴别 means exactly the separation, separate into separate ways. And this is farewell dinner, farewell. It's a double down of the meaning what this particular event is about. Event is farewell. Okay, 蜜饯 here is a little bit different. We have honey, which we covered earlier this year. That involves the bug, which is the bee, that's going to create the honey. And honeyed farewell dinner. Well, farewell in this case is eventually associated with the food preservation because it's the dried meat the traveler is going to take with them. Imagine that's probably ancient protein bar, okay? And 蜜饯 is the sugared version of that food preservation. Normally, it's a fruit. So 蜜饯 oftentimes is candied fruits. If you go to Chinese or Asian marketplace, there may be a big section dedicated to this sugared, candied, all kinds of fruit. And it's fascinating. That's the ancient candy form. And that's, again, fruit preservation in ancient times, just like the meat. So here is some beef jerky. I'm so happy to find out online that this beef jerky was still existing and is in the chopped up form, and it almost like tell the story of what a jiàn looks like, the ancient version, and today we're still having it. Thank you for your time. See you another day.